to Fred Achando Analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, put the notification bell on and like our videos. If you check Twitter, the name Keroche is actually trending at number 1. The reason why Keroche is trending is because we have an ongoing discussion about paying and evading taxes, where the first family was accused by the Ruto government that they have evaded taxes since 1963. Now, Madam Pauline Njoroge, who is working very closely with Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, is asking a very pertinent question. And she tweeted, the tweet is a bit sarcastic. And this was what Pauline was saying. Has Humphrey Kariuki paid more than 30 billion Kenya shillings in taxes? And has Tabitha Karanja paid more than 12 billion Kenya shillings in taxes? And has Wambui Waruto paid 2.1 billion in taxes? And Pauline concludes by saying that all these people heavily financed your campaigns in exchange for protection from paying taxes. Everyone must pay taxes. That is the tweet from Pauline Njoroge. That tweet opens a Pandora's box. And it is a tweet that touches the heart of our Kenyan economy. William Ruto is a president who lives in a glass house. And whenever you live in a glass house, you don't need to throw stones at people. Because when they decide to return the same favor by throwing back stones at you, you know what will happen. Your house full of glass will go down. So recently, there are people who have been accused of not paying taxes. But then our president is also being reminded that these are people who did not pay tax, actually, let me begin by Mr. Humphrey Kariuki. Mr. Humphrey Kariuki is a billionaire. He heads a liquor company called Africa Spirit Limited Company. This is a company that manufactures liquor, pombe. In the Uhuru regime, in the last term, when Ruto claims that he was kicked to the periphery and Uhuru was working with, allegedly with Raila Odinga, to be precise in 2019, this company, among other companies, were closed down. And Tabitha Karanja owns another company called Keroche. So these companies were actually closed down ostensibly for evading taxes. And reports say that the doors were sealed with KRA seals and were being manned by the DCI, Director of Criminal Investigations. So something played out. The Uhuru government was claiming that these are tax evaders, those who did not pay taxes, and so they closed down their companies. But it seems, according to Pauline Njoroge, that these are the people who financed Ruto's campaigns, knowing very well that if Ruto ascended to power, they were going to get favors. As to whether they were evading taxes is something that I cannot pronounce myself on because I'm not privy to the nitty-gritties and the details that pertains to these cases. But it brings a very fundamental question, ladies and gentlemen. Are we playing politics with paying taxes? And with this, I mean whether it was Uhuru Kenyatta, the former president, or William Ruto, the current president. If that is so, then we really need to change as a nation, because I'm one person who personally believes that an injustice to one person is an injustice to everyone. If, for example, the previous administration closed down the companies of Mr. Humphrey Kariuki and of Tabitha Karanja and this lady called Wambui for political purposes, then it should be condemned. And if William Ruto is now using the same to retaliate against the first family because some of his friends suffered and he now wants to retaliate, then it is equally wrong. We must separate where to put a limit. Development and politics. We cannot mix them, because as a nation, if we try to mix politics and development, political machinations and backstabbing, I can assure you that we shall not move as a nation. Let me remind you, a friend of mine tells me every day that no one ever wants a sitting president to fail, because when he fails, all of us fail. When he succeeds, we all succeed. So this guy called Humphrey Kariuki is the guy who owns Fairmont Hotel, where William Ruto had his meeting with his cabinet. They were chatting away forward on how to start working vigorously in 2023. So it tells you the closeness between them. And this also goes to explain why the enemies of Uhuru Kenyatta from Central Province were just so many. There were people who were working behind the scenes to finance Ruto's campaigns. And that's why Ruto has got very many people on his list to reward. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot play political witch hunt with paying taxes, because I heard the first lady of the founding father, Mama Uhuru Kenyatta, saying that when it comes to matters paying taxes, if anyone defaults, then you cannot go to a rally to start explaining or chiding him or her that she or he has not paid taxes. And Mama Margaret Kenyatta was saying that, Mama Ngina Kenyatta was saying that there are independent institutions that are supposed to deal with someone who has defaulted, not going to rallies. And on this, many Kenyans seemed to have concurred with her, because William Ruto is very synonymous with playing politics with matters that are very sensitive. Very sensitive accusations like this person was about to be killed by Uhuru Kenyatta, and when you ask William Ruto to arrest those who wanted to kill him, then that is where it stops. And Mabangina was saying that we must desist from playing politics with things that matter, like paying taxes. So Pauline is asking, when these companies were closed, and then later William Ruto, in fact it was the Kenya Revenue Authority and the DCI that went there and witnessed as they pulled out the seals that had closed the doors and everything, and later they gave them the green light to continue operations. So that is what Pauline Njoroge is saying, that while you want to follow up the Kenyatta family, have your friends completed paying the pending taxes that made their businesses to be closed down? I don't know whether there will be any answer from them. There is an element of selective justice where some people are supposed to pay and others are being exempted. And I want to reiterate that if it happened in the previous regime, it was wrong just as it is wrong today. Every Kenyan is equal before the Kenyan law. We should not treat people partially. There should be very impartial treatment. The last thing that I want to say is that my personal opinion is that these companies employ several Kenyans, and Kenyans are grappling with unemployment. The unemployment rate has really gone up. If you ask me, the companies should not be closed down. If there is any company that has defaulted, then I would rather the government will sit down so that they can discuss. how much are they willing to pay maybe monthly so that they continue retaining the people they have employed as they also struggle to pay the remaining taxes. I don't think, from where I sit, that we should be closing any company or industry for failing to pay taxes, and we should not play politics, because see the danger in it. Today, for example, if Mr. Kariuki has not paid taxes and is in bed with the Kenya Kwanza government, what happens if the government, the regime changes, and then there's someone who wants to follow up? Then we will be going back to square one. My understanding is, if at all he did not pay taxes during the Uhuru regime, and he was willing to pay, but he was harassed, but right now he can get that opportunity to continue paying, that will be the best thing. But let us not have a blanket condemnation where we want to open other people's businesses who have not paid, but the others are being closed. Let us sit down and talk to them, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you think, but I believe Pauline Njoroge is exposing Ruto in this matter. Please share with me your comments on what you think.